should be seeing my screen at this time. Hopefully everybody can. If you can see my screen, will you push the little palm there? It's to raise your hand for questions and stuff, but if you push on that and then push again, it'll go on and off. Great, just hit it again and it'll go off. That shows me that you all can see my screen. At the present time, we're going to leave this on, everybody on mute. If you have a question, please type it in, because this is basically informal and the asking of questions. We can, if you type in your question, I have Debbie Deerdorf, my cohort here. She's on here helping me with this. Debbie, if you see Charles come on, would you put him over with us as an organizer? Okay?
Yes.
Because I was not watching for that. So if you have a question, type it in the question box and we'll take it as we get to them. This is designed to mainly be question and answer, because I would rather answer your specific questions that you might have about Message Magic or Skype, that is, if I can answer them, than just to give you a lecture on whatever I think you need to know. We can do that from time to time, and if you ask a question, then I can take a few minutes to answer it, and hopefully to your satisfaction. And you are allowed to put in questions and follow-up questions and things like that. Debbie will go down through them, and either we'll bring you on if you have a microphone, and if you don't, we'll just read your question. In the question, you might put have mic or don't have mic, and that way she'll know whether she could bring you on anyway. Okay. Now, basically, our topics of discussion here are Message Magic and Skype. We are not talking about any particular business, because we have people on here who use Message Magic who are doing different opportunities out there and different. We have some people in cash gifting. We have some people in MLM, regular MLM network marketing. We have people that are in direct sales. There are all kinds of people on this call who are in different companies. So we're not talking about any company in particular, so that you understand that. Okay. This is being recorded, and it will be made available to everybody. And when you sign up here, I have your email address. Only I have it. And I can send out any notifications of where to get the recordings. They're done within minutes after the webinar, and so therefore, generally speaking, they are. And they will be made available for you and for people who might have missed the call. Okay. What I'm going to start out with is to see if there are any questions to get us started. If not, then I'll go over a few things. Debbie, do we have anything showing up yet?
Yes, we do.
I see James's. Let me address that while you're looking at the rest of them. To answer your question, James, I have sample messages that I will make available to everybody, and they can be tweaked any way you want. Now, the messages that I have available at the present time are generally for network marketing and the like. And what you're asking for there as BizOp, I am developing those, and they'll be ready within the next day or so, because that's new, and there will be sample messages available for that also. And we will make them available through our normal sources there. And Ralph, I see your question is about the same. And that's definitely, as I'm heading up that section anyway of BizOp. And so those will be worked on, and I'll be working on those with the people who I should be working with those on. Darren says he's having sound is very tunnel. I'm not sure why the sound is tunnel. Are most of you having trouble with the sound? Whoever's having trouble with the sound, raise your hand and take it down again, please. All right, so the only one I see is Darren. No, I got Debbie a little bit, Kathy.
Your window up, there's 20 people on there.
Yeah, I see now.
There's quite a few of them
all
saying
right,
that.
they are. All right, I don't know what we can do about the sound. That's interesting. Why there would be a problem there. Let me just see if does this bring it up at all or change it at all. All right, take your hands down once you put them up. Unless it's a question, particular question. All right, I'm not sure what I can do about the sound right now. I might have to change headphones for another call, but I haven't been having problems prior, so I'm not sure why. Is it, please, well, volume is much better. Yeah, I did make a change here, and that's the only one I know to make, and so hopefully that did make it better. I will try to speak a little louder and see what happens there, Regina. I think you're correct. And so therefore, is that any better, folks? Hope it is. All right, do we have any other questions there?
Yes. Are you going to cover the patterns like Greg was doing yesterday with the loading and saving, that type of thing?
All right, why don't I run through just some of the basics here. Now there are two videos, one on how to use patterns to gather Skype usernames, and that's more general than the targeted, but there are ways to do that too. I am in the process of making more little videos, 3 to 5 minutes long, sometimes or even less than 3. The two videos I have available right now are how to use patterns to gather Skype usernames and how to send an add contact request to Skype usernames. And that second one would apply to anybody, even if they're doing target marketing. But there will be more coming. I've got many more that I'm going to be doing, and they will be available to everyone. If anybody does not have those two videos, if you will put in here that you don't have them, it'll come up on the printout afterwards, and we can get them to the email that you have put in here when you signed up, okay? So if you would do that, that would be good, and I'll do my best to get a hold of you. Any of you that do not have me added on Skype, I would strongly suggest you do, and the Skype message, my Skype username, Debbie, would you put that in the chat to everybody, is Nova West Solutions. Add me, and if you have a question, text it. You don't need to call me, just text it. I'll answer the question, and I will also put it in our Q&A that will be available to you shortly. But let's just quickly look at how to gather Skype usernames. If you'll see my little squiggly colored thing here, I use that because it's easier for you on a program like this to see where my cursor is. It says pattern, minimum 1 character. I'm going to go through this quickly because it is rather simple. I'm going to put in John. Now up here, this box right here is called the search box. Okay? This one over here is called the messaging box. But in the search box, I need to put that. So I hit add, and it puts the name up there. Now all I need to do is hit search. Down here it says unlimited license, search thread started. And I don't need that up. So basically, unless it was not connected, maybe I better double check. Allow access. Okay. I just set it up on this computer. I had it on a different one. So this might say it's not connecting, but let's see. Oh, no, it did. Okay, great. So I just got 100 Skype usernames by searching John. It took 0.09 seconds. Oh, 9 seconds, I'm sorry. It took 9 seconds to get that. Now what it did was it went out and it searched in Skype for anybody that had the name John in their username, their display name, or in their profile. Now is that all the Johns that are on Skype? I highly doubt that. And the reason being is if you look right down here on Skype, it says right here, 28,734,294 people are online right now. Now, I got a feeling that more than 100 of them are called John. Skype does what it wants and gives out what it wants in relation to names. So you're not going to collect all of them at any one time. And to give you another idea while I'm right here, let's say I want to add a contact. I'll come back to that, but this is for a different reason. If I put in Bill Harkins, it's searching 831 million names. It said right there. I don't know if you saw it quick enough. I'll run it. I'll do it one more time with another one. Jane. All right, 831,072,737 people it's searching through. That's how many Skype users are out there. This down here is how many of them are online right now, 28 million. Okay, so that gives you the magnitude of what's possible here. We're back here now. You got 100 there. Now there's two things you can do. One is you can go over here and click Save Users. and you will get a list on an Excel or Notepad or whatever. I use Excel. You'll get that just gives you their usernames in a list, just their usernames, okay? Over here, if you save profiles, you get not only their username, but their display name, everything that they typed in when they signed up for Skype in their profile, okay? Now, we're going to save profiles here, and I'm going to put it right on the desktop, and I'm going to put test profiles. Now, you notice it's in a CSV. Why? It does it automatically because that's how you can reload it up into Message Magic to send out a contact if you don't want to send them out right now. So I hit save, and it tells me it was saved and where it was saved, and there it appeared right up here. Let's take a quick look at that. According to how long it takes to open, it'll be how quick it is. But anyway, it opened on my other screen, so let's pull it over. Okay, now let's make it screen size. There we go. The first thing I do when I get one of these is I click on this first line, and I make it yellow. Why? Because that's the header line, and I can see things better. Just my way of doing it. I also click on this little, see this little arrow right here that's to the left of the A and top of the 1? If I click on that, it highlights the entire page, no matter how big it is. I don't like the lines like that, so I go up here to the lines, borders, and I go like that. And now I can see it better. You say, well, you can't see the whole names. Okay, no problem. Let's go up and put our cursor right over that horizontal line between A and B and double click. Now what it did is it opened that up to the longest name on it. Now some people do it this way. They just do that. Then you got to go down through the list and see which the longest one is. I don't do that. I just go there. And it opens them up so that you can see the longest one. Okay? And you just work your way over. And I'm going to do this because there's a couple of things I'm going to show you while I'm right here. And you might want to take a note on this because this is very important no matter what you're searching for or no matter where you got the names. It's very important. Now, most of them don't put in the rest of their information. And if you see one that's totally blank, they didn't put any information in. All right? So it'll only show you what's there. Now, you say, well, I only want to send to people in the United States. You've got Australia, you've got Ireland, you've got United Kingdom. Okay. Go over and click on the 1. You see that highlighted, that first line? Okay. Then I go up to Data, up at the top here. And in there is this little funnel. It says Filter. I just click on that. Now you see there's a drop down on every column. Well, let's just see for a minute. Are there any other languages? Oh, here's some other languages in here. Spanish, Afrikaans, Arabic. There's all kinds of them. You only want English? No problem. 2 ways you can do it. You can select all, hit English, and that's all you'll see is the English ones. Just that simple. Another way to do the same thing is come in here, select all, so they're all clicked, and then click A to Z. So now all the English are together. Let's see what else we got here. Am I still on all English? Yeah. Okay. We need to go okay. And we need to go A to Z now. So 2 Afrikaans, 3 Arabic, a stack of English, 2 Spanish Castilian, and a tie in this that happens to be in this list. The rest of them didn't put anything in there. All right, you say, but John, those English are still all over the place, and I only want the United States. All right, then, go back up to the top. Go over here and go, you want just United States? Hit select all, takes them all off. Go down and pick United States. Okay, now you got all the United States. This is the way to pick only the ones you want. Now, what if I wanted to upload these back in, but I only wanted to upload just the English? Well, then you go over to username, and you slide all the way down the column, and you push down the shift bar and the click on that. It lights them all up. You copy them. You go to new, create a new sheet. You go here, you paste them. Now you've got usernames only, all United States. Okay? And now you want to save that. So you go Save As. Now, you could put English, or whatever you want to name it, -US, but it's an Excel workbook. I don't want that. I want a CSV. So I go 2 clicks down, and there's CSV. Now let's just save it on the desktop so I can show you what we can do with it. Okay? Now I know I went through that quickly. This is recorded, and we can go through it again on another call. No big deal. So let's just get this out of the way so we can see what we're doing. And that's the regular list. By the way, you haven't altered the regular list at all. In fact, if you want to go back through, you can change it back to A to Z over here. And now it's not just United States. We'll take the United States off. We'll select all. And now it's by username A to Z. All right? Or whatever. Let's do this and make it A to Z. Okay. Now, we can just get rid of this for the time being, but let's save it. Okay, now we're back here. Now, let's just leave those over there for a minute. Remember, this is when we first searched, and I saved the profiles. If you want to, which I probably never do, but you could do it, if you wanted to send these out right now, and you had your message ready, we'll talk about that in a few minutes, you would just hit Select All, and that would put a check mark in every one of these boxes. You would put, if you didn't know where they were, and they might be in different languages. Like somebody that signed up in Germany, you might speak German and signed up with the German language instead of English. You send them an English message, it's going to come through in English. So what I do is I click on Auto Translate. Now, if you had just put in a list that was only English, you don't need to hit Auto Translate because you're typing it in English, okay? But if you put Auto Translate and there's one Arabic in there and whatever else, it will translate it automatically into the language that they signed up in Skype. Now that's wonderful if you're doing it to multiple countries and languages, okay? You type your message in here, whatever it may be. I cut and paste it. I use a simple program called Magic Buttons. We'll cover that another day. It makes it so easy that you could have 5 or 6 or 10 messages in there and ready to go. And then if you're sending to a certain group, you just put your cursor in here, push a button, and the message is in there. It's like a cut and paste, only it's even simpler. At this point, I would go down and hit Add Contacts. Now, I'm not going to do that right now, but I would hit Add Contacts. You'd see it start sending the contacts down here in this bottom box. It would start a new thread, and it would show you sent. Billy Joe Bob, sent. Mary Jane, sent. Whatever it is would be sent. Okay? Now, let's get rid of all this, and let's take out this one here, clear, and let's clear backwards here so I can get rid of it. Now, the only thing I can't clear out is these, but it doesn't matter because if I do anything else, it will replace those, okay? Now, remember, we changed this list to English, so that's right there. Just those English usernames because it can't be the whole profiles. It has to be just the usernames. So I'm going to put load users. It's going to ask me, all right, where are they? Well, I'm going to go over here to English US. See right here, it matches the name I put in it. And I'm going to double click. And now it's bringing in just those English ones. And there are 37 of them. Out of the 100, 37 of them were just English speaking. Now I do the same thing again. If I want to send them an add contact, I hit select all. I put my message in here. Do I need to hit auto translate? No, they're all English. But you still can, and it doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt anything. Once my message is in there, I hit add contacts. Any questions about what I've covered there? Debbie, are there any in there?
No.
Okay. Anybody have a question? Put it in there right away. And we'll, because otherwise I'll, let's see if there's anything else I want to cover here. Did that answer the question you asked? And I don't remember who asked it. You, Debbie?
He says yes.
Okay, was that Pablo? Oh, no, this, no, okay. Okay, are there any other questions out there? There are more people than we can open the you can only open this to so many people at once, and so therefore we must remain on mute, because we'll open you up if you want to speak. You can say so if you want to ask a question or something, and that way it can be opened up individually. But after it hits a certain number, it won't let us unmute everybody at the same time. Excuse me. Do we have any other questions or any other area you want to cover? I want to cover a little bit about Skype for some questions that I had seen sent to me by other people. Excuse me, folks. I got a little scratchy throat here. Any questions come up there, Debbie, before I move on?
Yes. Does Message Magic have a queuing system where messages are sent in a specific order?
Not that I know of. I'm not sure I'd know what the reason would be to do that, so I'd have to talk to that individual more to find out. But I don't know if you mean like the 37 people, you might want number 36 sent first, or different messages. If you want to send a different message, you need to send it to the group over again. You need to start over and put the group in and send a different message. The only time you use add contact is the first time, all right? Because until they make you a contact on Skype, if you just send them a solicitation, you're spamming, and you have a high possibility of being shut down by Skype, especially if somebody complains. If somebody complains, they'll shut you down quicker than anything, okay? And all you can do in that first add contact request is ask them to be a contact. You can't get slippery and sneaky and try to sneak in, and I'm in this business, and I got this for sale, or whatever. You can't do that. Skype will shut you down eventually, okay, and shut down your Skype account. Now, can you open another Skype account? Sure. But whatever you had in that one will be gone. The send message is only used when somebody has added you as a contact, and we'll go into that in a few minutes. Does that answer the question? Hopefully it does. Do we have any others there before I move on?
Yes. What version of Skype is the best one to use with Message Magic?
It's completely up to you what version you want to use. I am teaching from the newest one. So if you have 3.8 or 4.0 or whatever you have, don't expect me to answer specific questions on that, because every time they change a version, there are changes. And it might not have the same words on your version as the newest one. This is the newest one that I have here. And the way to find out if you have the newest one, watch this. You can go to Help, and if you want to know what version you have, you go to About Skype. I have version 5.3.0.108. You say, oh, wait a minute, I got to write that down. No, you don't. Just go to Help and say check for updates. You already have the latest version of Skype installed. If not, it'll tell you you don't and give you a button to go do it. Now, if you're on Skype right now, it's going to shut you down to do it, so then you'll come back up again. But just for your information, all you have to remember, because we have seen a couple of people that said you have the latest, and they didn't. 5.3. This is the first version of 5.3. I just upgraded to it last week. If you have any version earlier, I suggest you move up to the newest one. Now, 3.8, I loved 3.8. That was 100 years ago, it seems now. And there are some things in 3.8 I wish they'd have left in it. But for the purposes that we're using this, the newest one is far better than 3.8. Took a little while to get used to the different lineup and setup and stuff like that, but that was all right. It took me a week. So I suggest personally that you all go to 5.3. It's up to you. If you're in the 4-point series, get out of it. I don't care where you go. The 4.0 and 4.1 had terrible, terrible problems. Just absolutely terrible problems. And during that whole time, I switched back to 3.8 and stayed there until they came up with the 5 series. Once they get into the 5 series, they corrected the problems with 4.0. 4.0 and 4.1 didn't stick around very long because they had so many errors in it. It was pathetic. So if you've got one of the 4s, I strongly suggest you move somewhere else. And I strongly suggest you move to the newest one, which I'll be teaching out of.
That probably answers your question, Rob, because he had a problem with the 4.2 putting a pop-up message. And so if he just updates, he should eliminate that problem, yes?
the two phrases I used for any of the 4.0 series was horror show and circus. I would rather see you on 3.8 than any of the 4s. But I suggest you go stick with, if a new one come out tomorrow, I'm upgrading to it because it's the easiest way for me to keep the most of you on the same one that I'm teaching. Does that help? Any other questions?
Yes. When Ralph opens Message Magic, it asks if he wants to update, and when he clicks on yes, it takes him to a website, not an update link.
Okay. When you need to update to a new Message Magic, first of all, you must remove the Message Magic that you have. Okay? And let me just show you. I'm not going to ask you. I'm just going to show you. I'm using XP, by the way. Okay? I don't have Vista or Windows 7. Never used either one of them. So if you have Vista or Windows 7 and they're a little different, there's nothing I can do about it right now because I use XP. When I get a new computer, I'm sure I'll be on Windows 7 because they're not putting anything else out unless I want to get rid of it and install it back onto the new one. But anyway, I don't know good, bad, or indifferent. I know that most of the people I've ever talked to, which is a lot, that had Vista are very sorry they have Vista. Windows 7, I haven't heard the complaints about. So anyway, there you go. I think that's why Windows 7 came out, because they had a lot of problems with Vista. But anyway, I can't guarantee you that. But here on mine, wherever your control panel is, go to your control panel. Okay? It will load up everything you got in the computer. Well, it'll load this up. All of it. Go to Add or Remove Programs. Now, don't go into Add or Remove Programs and go hog wild. You might remove stuff you don't want to remove. Okay? But this takes a little bit, according to how much stuff you got on your computer, it takes a little minute or two to populate. And as soon as it does, I'll show you where you go from there. These are usually in alphabetical order, so let's go down to Message Magic. JKLM. There's Message Magic. Click on it and go over and click on Remove. You say, wait a minute, I'll lose the whole thing. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just remove it, because you cannot download the new version unless you remove it. Okay? Now let's get out of there. Now the new version of Message Magic is 2.0.1.0. You say, what do I do now? It's not on my computer. Okay. Then go to your web browser. Now I've got a couple of web browsers on here, but we'll go to Internet Explorer just for giggles here. And then what you want to do is you want to go to www.messagemagic.net. That is the main page for Message Magic. Okay? The next thing you will see is log in. Okay? You go to log in. What's it ask for? Email and password. That's the email and password when you purchased the Message Magic software that you used. If I can remember mine, we'll be doing very well. Let's try, hold on a second. I'll go to my Splash ID and get it. I have no memory, so I have Splash ID. If you want more information on that, we'll do that someday too. But some of these programs are just wonderful little aids for doing things here. All right, let's go to this one. I have several Message Magic accounts, but that's neither here nor there for what we're doing now. All right, so how about if we go and we log in. So now I'm into what technically could be called my back office in Message Magic. All right. So even though it isn't on your computer, you can still go into your personal site. Okay, and it gives you your link and all that stuff. Okay. Go down here and see where it says Download Message Magic. Click on it. You'll get the new one. Come onto your computer and you'll be hunky-dory. Just remember to connect it with Skype. All right? When you just get out of here. When you get it on and you open it up, you've got to connect it with Skype again. Now, if you want, I can show you how you connect to Skype. And to do that, what I'll do is I'll get it so it's disconnected first, because mine's connected, obviously, right here. So I'll go to Tools, and I'll go to Options, and I'll disconnect it. I go to Advanced, Manage Other Programs, Access to Skype. See how it says Allowed? I'm going to change it. Do not allow. So now my Message Magic won't work because I said, no, Skype, you can't use it. Do not use it. So now I open up Message Magic. And I say, oh, I want to do a search. So let's search for John. And I hit Add. And I hit Search. Let's see what it does. Search thread started. What it's doing right now is it's asking Skype, can we use you? You see? And since I'm not going to let it, I'm going to just let it sit there. Okay? And it should come up down here and says, cannot connect to Skype, because I didn't connect it. So let's try that one more time here. And let me just get this out of the way. And let's just start again with Message Magic. I hope this is helping you guys and gals. Okay, let's open up Message Magic. Here it comes. Opening up on my other screen. So now, I got Skype right there. And I've got them both open. Let's go back to this one by clicking on it. And now I'll put John in. And I'll hit Add and Search. And I'll immediately go over here to Skype. Okay? And then I will go to, if it doesn't pop right up on the front, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, I'll go to Options, Advanced, Manage Other Programs, and I want to change this to Allow. Usually it'll pop right up on your screen. I don't know why this didn't, but that's all right. So it said it again. I don't know why. Because I didn't do it quick enough, I guess. So it got fancy on me. And I don't know if it'll... I don't know. This is the one thing when you're connecting, if it doesn't go quick enough, you have to close Message Magic and open it up again and do it. You can't just say repeat, try again. Here it comes. We'll bring it over. And let's see if we can make it do it now. Let's close that. See, right up here is where it should pop up. If it doesn't, then you go to Tools and stuff. So let's try this one more time for the shut-ins and the folks in the convalescent homes here. Search. Let's see what it's saying. Okay, search thread started. It brought this up. Yeah, see, it's connected now because I hit the button. It's reconnected again. But that will, if the minute you search for anything, I don't even know that you have to put a pattern in. I just think you can hit search, and it's asking Skype if it can use it. Now I'm going to go a little slower here. You go to Tools. To make sure it's connected, go to Tools. Down to the bottom to Options. Go down to the bottom to Advanced. Go to Manage Other Programs, the 2 arrows. And then read what it says. Allowed to use Skype. If not, change it. And then hit OK, hit Save, and I'm not going to close that because we're going to use it here. But so I just get that out of the way. And now you searched again. Any questions about that? Comments or questions about anything? How do we look over there, Deb?
Yeah, Ralph wants to know, he says when I open Message Magic, it says that the newest version is 2.0.1.2. Do I want to update?
It says it's 0.2?
2.0.1.2.
Well, yeah, you probably do, because he must have made... He said he was going to make some changes. Is Grant on with us?
No.
Because if Grant comes on this call, I would just bring him over to staff side. But he said he was going to make some changes, so therefore, very possible, and I will, as soon as I get done here, I will go, let's just see, about. Well, I will go in there and check too, because he said a day or two ago that he was going to make some changes, and he might have made those. And the minute he makes changes, he'll go to the last digit, because if it's a major change, he'd go to 2.02 or something like that. If it's a minor change, he just changes the last digit. When he gets up to 9, if he hasn't made a major change by then, he would then make the major change.
Okay.
In numbers. So that's basically how that works. So yes, whatever it says is the latest, do it. And Debbie, would you remind me after this, because I want to go and do it too.
Yes.
Everybody should do it. So not just one person. Any other questions there? I love the questions. I love the participation. I don't need to prepare a thing. I can just work off what you want to know, and that's perfect.
Okay. My Message Magic version 2.0.1.0 says there is an update available. So she just needs to click it and get it, right?
Yeah, where are they saying? Oh, when she comes into it, is it saying that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yes, she should go. Well, you remember the process I just showed you, folks. You got to. I wouldn't do it while we're on the call here, because you won't be able to try stuff on your own screen. But it's up to you. But you have to go into the control panel, delete the current one, go to the Message Magic website at www.messagemagic.net, put in your email and password, and go down there where it says download Message Magic, and it'll put it back in, connect it with Skype, and you're back in business. It doesn't take very long. I just tried to take it a little longer so that you could see what I was doing.
Okay. James says he got a message from Message Magic saying that he could upgrade.
That's, I believe, and I'm not sure, but you can get a hold of Grant and find out, is that you might not have paid yet, and so it might be upgrading to the paid version. I don't know. I don't know, because there really isn't a free version anymore. Like there used to be a 7-day free trial, but I'm not sure on that. So either send me a message on Nova West or send one to Grant at Webloop. Grant's Skype is Webloop, Webloot. I strongly suggest that you add him as a contact, and any questions that you have can go to him, directly to him, and he'll answer them. You don't necessarily call him, you just send a message, because lots of times we're on the phone. You see, I come off here, and any questions that were asked me, I can go back and answer afterwards. If you just tried to call me right now, well, you wouldn't get me, because I have it on Do Not Disturb, because this time is for you folks, not for anybody else, no matter who it is. So that's one of the reasons you'll see me on Do Not Disturb. One of the other reasons you might see me on Do Not Disturb is I'm recording a video, and I really don't want ding-dong, ding-dong in the middle of the video and have to start over again, you know. So those are the two reasons, basically, you see me on Do Not Disturb.
Okay, we've got another one.
Go ahead.
I uninstalled Message Magic. When I tried to install it again, it asked me to log in, and it says licenses are valid for one computer. You need to reset the license. How do I reset the license?
Were you on the same computer that you had it on before?
Yes.
Wow. Now that's strange. Huh. Okay, I'll think about that one a little bit. The only reason it should do that is if it was going on a different computer. Are you using something like Animizer where you're hiding the IP? Did he answer that,
No.
Deb?
No to the Animizer.
Okay. And for those of you that might not know what an Animizer is, there's things out there that you can put on your computer so that wherever you're going on the web or anywhere else cannot read your IP. It's sending them a random IP, and so it can't go back to you. But I don't suggest you use that, because it's putting the license on somebody else's. Oh gosh. Anyway, the way that you
Johnny, I've got the answer from Grant.
oh, is he on with us?
No, but he put it in another chat that I was looking at today.
Well, then put it right out there to everybody, or read it.
It says to log into your Message Magic account, click on Profile.
Hold
scroll
on.
to,
I'm going to do it on the screen as you say it, because that's what you're going to do. So let's do it here.
Log into your account.
All right. So I go to. Everybody knows where I go. I go to. Well, I have it as a favorite, so let's go here. Message Magic, connecting the world. There it is. I go here, and all I got to do is remember what I had there. I think that was it. No, of course not. No, of course not.
I pasted it in the chat as well.
Yeah, but I want to show them on the screen so they can see it.
Yeah.
Just bear with me one momento. Oh, I see what it did. It gave the wrong password, I think. Go ahead.
Okay, then you go down to Profile.
Here?
Scroll to the bottom. Scroll to the bottom and click the button that says Reset License Key.
Right there. It says
That will remove.
It says remove license key.
Right, it removes the license key from your account. Then run the Message Magic software, and you'll be asked to log in. Use your email address and password.
Any questions about that?
It's in the chat. Well, they can copy it from there.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Send that over to me on a document so that I can put it in the Q&A, please, when you get a chance.
Right.
Not now.
Okay.
Any questions there?
Okay, we've got, how do you build a list of Skype users in a city like San Diego?
Well, all right, that's good. That's a real good question. Let's go over here. Let's go out of here for a minute, and let's take a peek. I got to get rid of some of these windows so I can see the other screen. Let's see. I got enough of them open. Look at that. Okay. Now, what I want to look at is you put in a bunch of patterns. And by the way, I'm in the process of doing this on a major level. So they're going to be available to, I don't know how they're going to be available yet. I really don't. But I am creating Skype usernames by country, by state, and by city. It's going to take me a little while. Probably take me 1 or 2 weeks or more. I have about 2.5 million Skype usernames that I've searched and got. Debbie and 2 other people and I, back when we first got involved with Message Magic a long time ago, took about 2 weeks, I believe it was it, Deb? And we just did searching. We didn't do anything else. And in a couple of weeks, we had 2.5 million Skype usernames. And so, remember, there are 830 million of them out there. So we've got a very small section of it. But let me go here for a minute. Let's go down to patterns and usernames. And you're looking for usernames, okay? Usernames only. This is what I had to do, because there's so many of them, is I couldn't put them all on one Excel sheet, because one Excel sheet will only take about a little under 1,200,000 lines, okay? And since there were so many of them, I divided them up by letter, right? And I'm not going to go to that right now. I'm just going to go to any, if I can quickly find a, that's usernames only. I want profiles, not usernames. Well, I'll give you an example. Remember how I showed you these, is that usernames or profiles? Let's how I showed you the profiles. I just put in massive lists. See, that's just the usernames. I wanted the profiles. Oh, this test profiles will show it. I put in massive lists of patterns, and I just let it search. I go to bed and let it search. Okay. Now let's just say that here, there's only, if I click on this A up here at the top, it shows me down here there's 101 on this list. Okay. And this is all profiles. Just make it easy to look at here. Do that. Now, let's make a filter so we can do it. Okay. Then I go over here to city and I go A to Z. All right. So therefore, I can look for any city that I want. Let's say Sydney, Australia has a bunch on here. Well, I can make it even easier by going up here and go select all and go down to Sydney. And this is a very small list, so you're not going to see tons of them. But when I have 50, 60, 70,000 on the list, you get a lot in a lot of cities. Okay, so I just click on Sydney, and there's the Sydney ones. So then what I do is I save those into a Sydney folder, profile. I start an Excel. So anytime I do any searches, I take the Sydneys and put them in there. All right. If I'm being clear, please let me know there. Are you understanding what I'm saying? But I've spent a lot of time doing that, and somehow I'm going to make things available one way or the other. We're not going to say that. So does that answer the question?
Is it possible to do a live search for Skype users in San Diego now?
Yes. The trouble is this, and I'll use like the Donald Trump network as an example, and do it on a country level, but it'll fit for what you're talking about, and we'll even do one right here. But the Donald Trump network right now only sells, and I'm not pushing the Donald Trump network. I'm not a member of it. I'm not saying it's good, bad, or indifferent. I'm just talking about it because it's only in the United States. Now, eventually, they claim they're going to be all over the world, and they may be. But right now, they're in the United States. So when somebody's using Message Magic, they might not, that's in that network, they might not want to send to everybody across the world. So in here, they go to advanced search. So you put a search pattern in here, okay? You put a pattern in here like John, okay? And you add it. Then you go to advanced search. You can, don't keep popping up on me or I'll close you. You can put in the country, the state, the city, the language, the gender, and the age range. The thing you got to remember is this. Every time you put a qualifier in there, you're going to get less responses. Okay? You can do it. But here's the problem. If you put San Diego in here, let's put San Diego. S-A-N-D-I-E-G-O. Okay? And that's all you do. Okay? Searching for John. Boy, that Skype is popping up on me. I can fix that if it pops up again. Now, I found no Johns in San Diego. Does anybody here believe that there are no Johns in San Diego that have Skype? I don't. But for some reason, it didn't want to show me any. Or it didn't pick the ones that are there. Now, here's another thing. What if the person didn't put San Diego in their profiles? You won't get them. And that's the thing I tell the people that are in the Trump network. I say, look, if you put United States in there, you'll get anybody in the United States. You'll get some in the United States that put United States in there. But there's thousands and tens of thousands of them that don't fill out their profile. Majority of people don't fill out their profile. And if they don't put United States in there and you limit it to United States, you won't get them. And so what I do is I have never used any one of those qualifiers. Now, let's say that you purchased a list, an email list, from one of these email sellers where you get, I don't know, 1,000 or 10,000 emails for $20 or $5 or whatever it is. And those emails are, let's say they're BizOp or whatever they are. And I will show you in the next time we meet, I will show you how you can enter those emails into a Google account and then go into Skype and import them, and it'll import all the ones that have Skype usernames using that email. In addition to that, it will then ask you if you want it to send to the rest of them that didn't have Skype usernames an invitation to join Skype and add you as a contact. And Skype will send that for you. If you put 5,000 emails in there, and I put 5,000 in the other day to test it, and I got 995 that had Skypes, and that was put into my Skype. And then it says, you want to send the rest of them a request to join Skype because you have a join request. Sure, do it. You send them out for me. That's wonderful. So I'll go over that in our next one. But now, if that list that you got of emails has all that information, because you can buy them with all that information, they come on a sheet with the state, city, all this information they get, and then you just sort it like I showed you in Excel, and you pick just the ones in San Diego, or just the ones in California, or just the ones in America, United States, or just the ones in Canada, then when you do that list that's specific to San Diego, then any it finds in San Diego, you'll know, and you can put them in a category. And I'll be teaching you categories here. I might even have, I don't know, look at 10 minutes, I might even be able to show you how to do those right now. But, so yes, there's ways to do it. Very soon I will have a major list of San Diego, because I'm going to start with the big cities first. Like I live just south of Phoenix, just outside of Phoenix Valley. I used to live up in the Chandler area. But Phoenix is the fifth largest, or I don't know, fifth or sixth largest city in the United States. So that's obviously going to be one of the ones I'm going to do first. You got New York, San Francisco, New York, LA, San Francisco, San Diego, Chicago, Atlanta, Miami, Boston, blah, blah, blah. All those will be done first. Okay, and I'll get as long a list as I can for those. And I will show you how to do that stuff. But just remember, the more on the search, the more restrictors you put in, don't be disappointed when you get 0. Now, I do not suggest that you search one at a time if you're searching. For example, you see in this folder right here, you see where yeah, right, not that one. Where'd that training one go? Did I eat it for lunch? I made a couple so I could test them. Let's get rid of this. Got so many little parts of this webinar open on the other screen, I can't find nothing. But let's say that you want to send, let's clear this out. And let's hit that. So we're starting fresh here. Now, I made a little folder just to use in this training session, but it seems to have gone the way of little folders. Bear with me a moment. Did I put it in my documents? May very well have. Here it is. All right, I made a little folder here of 25 patterns. All right, usually I make it 1,000 to 5,000. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Message Magic here, and I'm going to put Load Patterns. I'm going to go into MM Training where it is, and double-click on that. Now those 25 patterns are here. Could be 5,000. I do at least 1,000, at least. And when I put 1,000 in there, I'll get somewhere around anywhere from 20,000 to 60 or 70,000. I think the most I've ever gotten with a list of 1,000 was, what did we get, 140-some thousand username?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was before they changed.
Yeah, but you remember that the new one versus 3.8 gets 3 times as many. So, all right. So therefore, they're all up here. I'm just going to hit search, and let's see what happens. You see what it's doing right now is, see how it says down there, it's searching for, get that on the other screen, stop that foolishness. It's searching for Jacob. Jacob found 100 records. Now it's going to drop and say, searching for Eric. So it drops to the next one. Takes a few seconds here, We just got 100 from Eric. Now it's going to drop to Renee. You see down the bottom, it's telling you what it's doing, searching for Renee. Found 100. I'm up to 300 usernames I've already found, and we've been, what, 10, 15 seconds? If that. We're down to Bernice. Found 100 records there. And I'm just going to let it go through while we're talking, these 25. We will have, what I used to say, up to 2,500. But the other day when I did it in front of some of you people, I said, well, you'll get up to 100 per name. And one of them ran to 180, and I went, what? And what we have found out is Skype has made some changes, and we're doing, Grant and I are doing some tests right now to find out what ramifications that has for us. Well, we just found Diamantino, another 100. Now we're down to, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that one. A Falabi? Yeah, I did try it. And it just keeps finding 100 records. And it just keeps going, hopefully. But anyway, once it gets down to the bottom here, I don't know what it's trying to do right now, but whatever it is, it's getting funky Broadway. There we go. Now see, that name only found 68 records. So it's not necessarily going to be 100 on every one. You'll even get some weirdo things in there, because if you put XZ294L, you'll probably get some usernames. Ask me why. My answer is, I don't know. Okay? Because Skype is funny on what it does and what it wants to do. But right now I'm up to 1,068, and I haven't even got through 25. In fact, you can see on the bar here how far I am down the list. I don't think I'm halfway yet. And I got 1,000. Does that show people how you can get a lot? And I do it by list. Now, where can you get lists? Well, I have some patent lists that people can have if they want. But I did things like I went online, and you know how when people are having a baby and they go in and looks at names, I went baby boy, baby girl. Because the amazing thing you'll find is that, you know, if you name a baby Bill, when they get older, they're still named Bill. It's really neat. And so therefore, even if you got it from baby names, it's names of people. And you can put John in as a patent. You can put Matthews as in a patent. You can put John Matthews as a patent and get different Skype usernames. People say, well, how many John Matthews can there be? I lived in Scarborough, Maine, and there were 2 other John W. Matthews besides me. There were 3 of us that were John W. Matthews. And I went, how can that be? This town doesn't have 5,000 people in it. This is weird. And we'd all get calls for each other. It was really strange. One of them was managed apartments, and I used to get his calls, and that was aggravating. But anyway, we're almost there now, so I just want to go up to 1,846 in a few minutes. With a list of 25, we're pushing 2,000 right now. And so I wanted to show you this, so I'm glad the question came up. But now I'm going to show you what happens with it. I just want it to finish. I know we're almost at the top of the hour, and if people have to leave, well, then they have to leave. This is not a required course. This is 2 times a week that I'll put my time in and help you the best I can. And I do not have all the answers. I certainly do not. I'm learning every single day. And especially when Skype changes things, I have to be learning. So we're up to 2,055. We got a couple more here. Let's see what happens. Yeah.
He says these are not targeted users. Is there a way to be more targeted than just use their first name?
Yes. Like I said, let's say that you had a list that you purchased of emails, and they were all realtors, for example. Then you put those in, you load them into Skype, and all the Skypes you get from that would all be realtors. You could put them on their Excel sheet and upload it into here, and you wouldn't upload it into the search patterns because they're already users. You'd put load users, you upload it, and you'd send a message to all realtors. Now, there are many ways to get those more targeted. The one thing is, if you depend on the profiles, searching patterns, and by putting in real estate or putting in something like that, you'll get a few, but you'll miss tons. And so, therefore, because if they didn't put real estate somewhere in their name, their email, or their about me and their stuff in their profile, it won't come up. Okay? So we can talk more about searching and targeting. There's many ways to get targeted leads. And then we can put them in here and find out if they have Skype. And I'll also show you how the ones that you how you can send them an email and have a Skype button in there to ask them to be in contact. So and to join Skype and be in contact. Now let me just quickly here. See, that took 5 minutes and 50 seconds, and we got 2,453 out of 25 names. Okay. So now I'm just going to quickly save profiles because I want to I want to show the person who asked the question before how I find. See, you got to remember, I do this on a much larger scale. That was 25. I'll put 1,000 in there. I'm going to have 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 names. I'm going to have just amounts of names. And it's just as easy to do it with a group of 25 as it is 1,000. You just let it cook while you're working on your computer. All right? Now, did that save profiles? Let me see what I did. Save profiles. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay. Now, let's just get out of this for a minute. And let's just get out of, oh, there they are. I just wanted to put more in there to give you a better example of what you can get. I go here, I make it a different color. I go here because the lines drive me crazy and I'm finicky about that. All right, then I go over here to city. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I got to put the data thing in here. There's the profiles. Okay. By the way, this looked terribly hard to me when I first started doing it, but after a few times of doing it, it's a piece of cake. And if I can learn it, you can. You say, oh, you're an expert. My son laughs at me and calls me a pre-beginner. Okay. Now you can look here and see what you've got there. Okay. I don't know if there's any San Diegos. If there aren't, but there might be. There's a all right, so there are San Diegos. So what I would do is I'd go up here, I'd take the check mark off all of them, I would go back down here to San Diego, and let's just see if we got one or two. Who knows? We got 2 in San Diego. Okay? You say, no big deal. The last thing I want to cover, if a couple of you have a few more minutes, is what I call unrealistic expectations. Okay? Whatever business you're doing, whether it's network marketing, direct sales, cash, gifting, I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. I've been in network marketing since the early 70s. All right, I'm 64 years old now. I was full-time in network marketing when I was 27 and have been ever since. All right, and so I've been around the block a couple of times. And all of that and $1.50 will get me a cup of coffee at Dunkin' Donuts if I wait in line. But do understand this. One of the biggest causes of failure is getting discouraged. And one of the biggest causes of getting discouraged is unrealistic expectations of what you're doing. If these things we do were simple and easy, they might be simple, but if they were easy, everybody would be doing them, there wouldn't be any money in it. You understand that, don't you? You need to understand that. And all these ones that have got these whoopee answers to everything, and they're the greatest thing since sliced bread, all you need to wonder is what was the greatest thing before sliced bread? Because it doesn't make any difference. There's a certain amount of work that has to be involved. If you have unrealistic expectations of what you're doing, it's going to turn more than it's really going to turn, you get discouraged, and that's when people quit. And that's unfortunate. I tell people this, and I'll say it to every one of you, and I'll stand behind this. I don't even want to argue with anybody about it because I don't care, because I don't believe what they're saying. I know that's an arrogant old person, and that's me. Okay? Now, if you took and you sent out 5,000 contact requests every day for 30 days, that would be 150,000 ad contact requests. Now listen carefully. How many people joining your business or making a purchase from you on a good ticket item do do you need to get out of that to make it worthwhile? If you're in network marketing, how many people out of 150,000 ad contract requests do you need to join your network? How many people, if you're cash gifting, do you need in that month out of the 150,000 to make it worthwhile? And if you're selling an item, let's say, where you make $500, how many of those do you need in order to make it worthwhile, especially when you have other things to sell? The answer, the correct answer, go ahead.
Regina says 1.
1. Absolutely. 1. And I get so many people come in and they start Message Magic and they quit. And they talk about, I've put this foolish thing, it don't work. I sent out 5,000 ad contracts, nobody responded to me. I said, oh, okay, good. Then you're like me. You're just like me. And I explained to them this. If you're in a network, let's take that for a minute, just to give you an example. And this is your first month, it's January, you just joined. I say to you, find 2 people in January, just 2. Now, don't stop. If you have more, take them. But find 2. And then that puts 3 people in your group, you and the 2. February, the 3 of you, go find 1. That puts 6 in your group, the 3 and the 3 you brought. March, why don't the 6 of you put in 1? Now you got 12. Next month you got 24, 48, 96, whatever it is. How many people would you have in your group if you did that for 1 year? Just that. You'd have over 6,700 people in your group. How many of you have 6,700 people in your group? Don't answer, just think about it. I've had groups with tens of thousands of people in them. That's how I built it. It's called a geometric progression, folks. People talk about, oh, good. Talk about it any way you want, but that's the only way to build a business that'll last. You got people say, oh, I know a guy who's got 10,000 people in his group he brought in. No, he didn't. No, he did not bring that in. Nobody did that. He might be the lead of the group, and he might be the fire behind it, and he might be the inspiration and everything else, but he didn't bring in 10,000 people. I used to work directly with the largest network marketer in the world, Dexter Yeager. Many, many times. Been with him at his home and on his boats and yachts and all the toys and bells and whistles. I've spoken all over the United States, Canada, England, and Ireland to groups as little as a me show, where I showed up, nobody else did, all the way to the Georgia Dome with 84,000 people. We were the first group to fill that facility when it opened. I've seen him come and I've seen him go. Nobody puts 10,000 in anything. You do it by building a solid base and you move on. Message Magic, if you are expecting to send out 5,000 a day and get disappointed if you have 1 person respond or nobody, it's foolish. It's definitely foolish. And these list people that tell you, well, we get 1%, 2%, 3%, I only have one word for them: liar. Absolute dyed-in-the-wool liar. Can't guarantee that. And how can I guarantee what you receive from Message Magic? Number 1, I don't know what product you're selling. It might stink. For all I know, it might be the best one out there. I don't know. You're all doing different products. You all put in different messages. And you're all talking to different people. So many variables. People say, no, I want to know what percentage. You tell me what percentage. Hey, whatever percent. What do you like? Well, if I like 40%. Okay, 40%. That's what you want. Go ahead. You won't get it, but have at it. You got to have a percentage? No. It's a matter of throwing enough against the wall so some of it sticks. Until you find the buyer. Until you find the person for your product that you're direct selling. Until you find the person who's interested in a business opportunity to come into your group. People do not join companies. They don't buy from companies. They don't join pay plans. They don't join products. They join people. And we need to be the type of people that people want to join. And if you're in direct sales, it's even more important. People are buying from you and what you present to them. And I don't know what you're presenting. I used to sell Kirby vacuums 160 years ago, it seems like, door to door. Built one of the 54th largest Kirby organization in the world up in New England. I come from Maine. And I used to tell people, they said, how come you sell so many, John? You sell 1 out of 2 or better. And we don't do that. You can get in just about every other house cold canvassing. We can't. I says, Well, the first thing you do in the morning is you check your pits and your breath. That's the first thing you do. Because the one who looks good and smells good is the one who's going to get in the door and has a big smile on their face. And it's the same thing when we're dealing here. It's how they perceive you. One of the other things that people do that's a monster mistake, just a monster mistake, is they don't fill out their profile. Oh my gosh. If you receive an ad contact from somebody right now and they've got XLZ2 as their username and there's no other information when you look at their profile, you going to add them? I don't think so. This person doesn't even want to tell me who they are. They don't want to tell me where they're from. They don't want to tell me nothing. Block. Block. The 99% of the people, when they receive an ad contact request, look at the profile. Find out who you are. People say, well, I don't want to put my personal information in there. Then you shouldn't be in business. You shouldn't be in business. That would be like saying the guy down the store who runs the bike shop. He don't want to tell anybody where his address is. He don't want to give anybody his phone number, and he doesn't want to advertise in any way, shape, or form because he certainly doesn't want people to know where he is. That's nuts, you'd say. Well, if you're in business, whether it's network marketing, whether it's affiliate marketing, whether it's gifting, whether it's direct sales, who are you hiding from? What, is somebody from Germany going to come over and bomb your house? That's crazy talk. You know, oh, they might steal my identification. You know, really, come on. Shouldn't be in business. Hide in the bushes so nobody can find to know who you are to decide whether they want to work with you. You see, one of the things I always tell people about a relationship, and when you're selling or trying to get somebody to join something with you, and it's all selling. The definition of sales is convincing somebody else to your way of thinking. Husband and wife. Let's go out Saturday night to the movies. What movie do you want to go to? I want to go to a chick flick. I want to go to a masher, crasher, slasher movie. Okay. So now you sell each other until you can decide on one, and that's selling each other on your way of thinking. Everybody does sales. Everybody does sales. Oh, I'm not a born salesman. There weren't any. But out of the babies thing in the hospital, it says baby boy, baby girl. It doesn't say baby salesman anywhere. Okay. It's all foolish talk. It's a reason or an excuse not to do what you should do to make it work. I know I'm being hard here. You have the right to click me off. I'm trying to help you because this can work as one of the tools in your basket. Message Magic isn't the only tool. It's like a carpenter. He takes a toolbox. He goes to build a house. On Monday, he'll take a saw. On Tuesday, he'll take a hammer. And on Thursday, he'll take a screwdriver. That makes no sense. Takes the whole toolbox. Doesn't know what he's going to run into today. So he doesn't know which tools he's going to use, so he has them there at his side. Same as you should have. Relationships. You've got to build relationships with somebody that you want to convince to your way of thinking, whether it's join what you're doing or sell them something, whatever it is. And I use the example of a bank. If tomorrow you went downtown to a bank that you have no account with, and you withdraw $500, what do they call that? Bank robbery. They throw you in jail. If you go down to another bank that you have an account with, you have $1,000 in there, and you go in and you take out $500, what do they call that? They call that a withdrawal. They give you a lollipop, shake your hand, hold the door for you, say, have a nice day. Same $500. Well, what's the difference? Well, in one bank, you made a deposit before you tried to make a withdrawal. In the other bank, you didn't. They don't like that. You know, people don't like that either. If I walked you up to you on the street and I said, boy, you're this ugly and you stink, well, you'd probably smash me in the mouth because I made a withdrawal before I made any deposits. Now, on the other hand, if I got you involved in my business and you started making $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month over and above whatever you're making right now, and then I walked up and I said, hey, you better check your breath, buddy. It's bad. We're going to laugh it off and keep going because I've made deposits before I made withdrawals, and that's what's called building a relationship. So when you're talking to anybody, when you're sending anything to anybody, you've got to think about first, you've got to make deposits. And when they see you're making deposits, then they're more apt to let you make a withdrawal and get their information or join you or agree with you or purchase from you. That's what people don't stop to think about. How many times do you see, and some of us are doing it in certain things, where when you contact them, you're offering them something free? Well, what can we offer them free? Well, there's one thing you can offer them. When I send out a message right now to anybody, I say, you know, if you add me as a contact, I'm going to give you a little known Skype tip that can help you develop whatever it is you're doing at a much faster rate. What's that tip? I'm going to tell them about Message Magic. I don't care if I make anything. I don't make it. Really no difference. I'm making a deposit. I'm going to offer them something. Just add me as a contact. Because if they add me as a contact, I get the opportunity to present what I'm offering and to present me as a contact and friend. And that's what you want. If you can't get the opportunity to talk to somebody, you're dead in the water. So you got to make yourself as appealing as possible. And the first thing is doing that profile. On the next call, if you want to spend some time on profiles, we will spend some time on profiles. That's up to you folks, because basically on this call, you call the shots. Well, now I'm over 15 minutes, and I swore I wasn't going to do it. Anyway, Debbie, is there anything there I can answer real quick?
Yes.
I'll get off my soapbox.
Yeah, thank you. They want to know where they'll have access to the messages that are already completed and to today's recording.
As soon as I have that answer, they all will have it.
Okay.
That is if you put your proper email in here. It's going to go to whatever email you put in here.
Do we have sample profiles for BizOp MLM that we could use to customize for ourselves? To customize their profile?
They have them or they don't?
Do you have some that they can use?
We will, right now, I'll answer that soon.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but I can't answer that off the top of my head right now.
Okay. And I'm having the same problem with Message Magic, cannot connect to Skype.
You need to go through the process that I said there, and if you continue to have who's that?
James Boyd.
James, you have me added as a contact. If you still have the problem after we get off this, call me, but give me a half an hour or so. I got to get something to eat. Go ahead.
Okay. And you mentioned in an earlier call that the way you got people to add you as a contact was you simply mentioned to them in your message that you have the most powerful tip regarding Skype that you want to share with them. Could you state that? Could you state that verbiage again? And what percentage increased in open rate did you get as a result of deploying that strategy?
Okay, Mr. or Mrs. Percentage. I do not keep percentages because I don't care. And I have never looked for percentages. I remember sending out 5,000 one day, got nothing. I've sent out 5,000 another day, got 1 or 2. Then I remember one Sunday night, I sent out 5,000. I got up the next morning, and there were 127 people who added me as a contact. And then I went to the messages, because they could send a message to you without adding your contact. I had another 30 or so that said, who are you, where'd you get my name, blah, blah, blah. And so there was about 150 or 60 responses, which I could send messages back to instead of contacts, because I'm either answering their question or they've added me as a contact. And so therefore, I don't know, what's the percentage? Who knows? I don't care. I'm just going to keep sending them, because my expectations are based on, if I get 1 a month, it's worth it, because it's so easy to do. Once you get set up and rolling, it's so easy to do. And I could spend most of my day doing other things while it's doing it for me. And in fact, that's when I went back to sending less out than the 5,000, because if you get 127 responses that add you as a contact, you got to follow up on those right away, real fast. Because if you wait a day or two to get to the last 20, they'll forget they ever added you. They'll forget who you are and what it was about. And so therefore, I don't need 127 a day. I don't. Because I just want to go in and get some of those people to join and work with me. So I just don't keep the percentages. So every time somebody asks me for percentages, I don't have any. And I really don't plan on starting to do it now, but I will tell you this. Before I filled out my profiles, I was getting little or nothing. Once I filled out my profiles, I was getting better. Okay? Once I offered them something for free, it got even better. What are the largest websites in the world that have the most participants? Skype, Twitter, Facebook, those type of things. Why? They're all free. You put a $20 a month, $19.95 a month on Twitter, Facebook, and Skype, their numbers would drop down to pathetic. they would drop down immediately to pathetic. Because the reason most people use those is because they're free. I hope that helped. I'm not trying to be mean about the percentages. I don't keep them. If you want to start doing that and keeping them, that's great. But you know that your percentages wouldn't mean anything to me, and my percentages wouldn't mean anything to you. Because you're sending out to different people, you're sending out a different message, and you're a different person. Too many variables. You could never wipe out the variables to have statistically sound percentages. And that's my opinion. And I've been wrong before. I hope that helps.
The last question is, what type of follow-up do you do?
Okay, that's another whole thing that would take a day. It's according to what I'm contacting them for, okay? And right now I'm in the process of narrowing down drastically to one thing what I'm doing so that I can be focused. I find that too many people are not focused, and I fell into that trap, and I'm climbing out of it. I had a guy say to me once, he says, if you wake up in the morning and you find yourself in a hole, the first thing you should do is stop digging. And so therefore all this wonderful diversity that they talk about will do nothing but lose your focus on whatever your main thing is. And so I'm in the process of cutting back. But when I was doing multiple programs and things, and it was all according to what I was sending out for. And so we will spend more time on that. Bring that up again, or well, we're going to mark down all these questions to make sure that they're covered as needed. Anything else, Deb?
No, you're clear.
I hope this call has been beneficial to you. I am going to try to stay to an hour, and we can all have a good laugh. Those of you that know me can have a good laugh about that. But we went about an hour and 23 minutes. I don't think that killed anybody, but I want you to understand I don't watch the list to see when you go or when you come on. It's up to you whether you want to come to these. It's up to you. And as I say things, if it fits and it'll work for you, use it. If it doesn't fit for you or you don't agree with it, then flush it. It's okay. I'm not trying to be dogmatic here. I'm just telling you what I believe. And I've had a little bit of experience in this, and I'm sure that many of you will do things and you'll find out stuff, and I hope you share them with me too. I have learned some new things about Skype and Message Magic in the last 2 weeks from some of the people that are on this call, actually, because they did this, and I said, I've never tried that, and it worked, or it didn't work, or whatever. So participation, that's kind of what I want here. And I hope most of you got your questions answered. If you didn't, you can send them to me on Skype, and we will follow up with you. Do the best I can. That's all. Anything else show up there?
No, just they're just saying thank you very much. Great information.
Okay. Now we have another call. I believe it's Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
So that we'll be every Tuesday and Thursday at the present time. We'll keep it there for a while and see how it projects out. This has been a great crowd here today, and I'm hoping that it's brought you another step closer to where you want to go. And I wish you all the best, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.